From downtown Decatur, it's the Faber Files. Hello, I'm your host, Bill Faber. Because democracy demands debate, we present this program. A program of community interests and issues presented on public access TV. This evening's presentation is the annual Workers Memorial Service and Ceremony held April 28th at the Decatur Courthouse. We'll see various speakers and an invocation by a minister recalling as a memorial in our memory of the men and women in the Macon County area who have died working and moving America forward. It's a powerful presentation. We see Terry Potter presenting the bagpipe and Amazing Grace, a stirring rendition of a heart-filled song. I hope you enjoy this evening's program as we remember in our memories those we have lost in the workplace. Thanks for watching.
Okay, we're going to open the program for the Workers Memorial Day 2012. My name's Lloyd Holman. I'm co-chair. The reason I want to mention that I am co-chair because this monument would not be here if it were not for one man. That's Jimmy Taylor. It was his vision and his thought and his drive that got this thing put in place. He wouldn't let it die. So I want to thank him. And with that, we'll face the colors.
Honor. Attention. That's carried. Brakes. Forward. March. Mark time. Hold. Prepare to post the colors. Ready. Post. Recover. Present. Mark. Order. Arm. Right. Face. Forward. Mark. Hold. Bow. Face.
And with that, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll have Steve Gilbert.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for your grace and mercy. Lord Jesus, I thank you for your salvation. Lord, we come together here today to give encouragement to those who have lost loved ones on job site accidents. Lord, we just pray that you lift them up with your encouragement and your strength. We pray this in the name of the precious Son, Jesus. Amen.
Now we're going to have a special treat this time. We've got a bagpiper. Terry Potter is going to do Amazing Grace. At the same time, we're going to have the Woosley family place the ribbon.
afternoon. Let me begin by thanking all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join here with us on this special day. We are particularly honored to have with us those of you who have a family member, a loved one, friend, or a co-worker whose name is on our roll of those who lost their lives on the job or died through a job-related illness. Your presence here today gives our event special meaning. I'd also like to thank Lloyd Coleman and Jim Taylor, whose hard work over the years have made this event possible. Not only our monument, but the fact that we're all here today. Thanks to all of our elected officials and candidates who have taken time to travel here to Decatur and be with us. Thank you, Councilman McDaniels, Sheriff Schneider, Candidate Andy Menard, Sue Scher, Robert Bryce. If I've missed anyone, I'm very sorry. Today, in town squares and union halls, at work sites and memorials, in community after community, people have gathered to remember our brothers and sisters who have lost their lives and to fight for safe workplaces and for good jobs for all workers. As we mourn our dead, we must remember the bond that connects all workers. These are the names of men and women of all races and ethnicity who, not unlike us, sought only to live out their lives with purpose and happiness, seeking fulfillment in family, faith, and community. These brothers and sisters, not unlike us, hope to enjoy the fruits of their labor created by the work of their own hands. They hope that after years of hard work, to be able to retire with security and dignity. In short, they died seeking our dream, the American dream. Today we remember them. We also choose this day to once again renew our fight for safe jobs that save lives. Over 4 decades ago, the OSHA law and mine safety law were enacted, promising workers in this country a right to a safe job. Since that time, we've made great progress in making workplaces safer and protecting workers. Workplace fatalities and injuries have significantly declined. Exposure to job hazards, toxic chemicals like asbestos and lead have been reduced. Far fewer workers are dying from trench cave-ins and for being caught in unguarded machinery. This progress didn't just happen because the OSHA law and the mine safety law were passed. It happened because workers and their unions organized, fought, and demanded action from employers and their government. Virtually every safety and health protection on the books today is there because of working men and women like you who came together in unions and won these protections. It is working people through their unions that won passage of the mine safety law and the OSHA legislation. It is working people through their unions that demanded and won stronger standards to protect workers from asbestos, benzene, and other toxic chemicals and safety hazards. It is working people through their unions that won the right to know about toxic chemical hazards in the workplace and in their community. It is working people through their unions that push through stronger laws and regulations to prevent chemical plants from exploding and to protect workers and the community from danger. And it is by joining together through unions, through collective bargaining, that has given workers a voice to have a say in safety and health on the job, to raise safety concerns and demand that employers protect workers from harm. Through this work, we've made jobs safer and saved lives, not just for union members, but for all workers. We've done this and we will continue to do this because we believe that all workers should be able to go to work and return home safely to their families at the end of the day. We do this because we believe that no worker should have to sacrifice their life or their limb or their health just to earn a day's pay. I'm hurrying. Despite all of our efforts, too many workers remain in danger. There is much more work to be done. In recent years, we've seen major workplace tragedies that caused scores of workers' deaths. From the massive Upper Big Branch coal mine in West Virginia, the BP Transocean oil rig, explosions at Clean Energy and the Decatur refinery. Each and every day in this country, on average, 12 workers die on the job as a result of workplace injury. Women and men who go to work never return home to their families and loved ones. In 2010, 4,500 workers lost their lives on the job, and 50,000 died from occupational diseases. That's a total of 149 workers dying each and every day. Here in Illinois, 203 workers were killed on the job, and over 125,000 injuries and illnesses were reported through the Bureau of Labor Management. Today we remember all of them, those who died and the millions who have been sickened or disabled because of their job. These tragedies and deaths could have and should have been prevented. These workers should not have died. In workplaces across the country, workers continue to be exposed to well-known hazards that are poorly regulated and inadequately controlled. Hazards like silica that cause disabling lung disease, and explosion hazards like combustible dust that kill and seriously injure workers. New and emerging hazards like pandemic flu and infectious diseases that threaten healthcare workers, and budget cutbacks that put the safety of our firefighters, police, corrections officers, and other public employees at risk, cutting staff, increasing the threat of violence, and failing to provide the needed equipment to keep them safe on the job. Pardon me. For 8 years, the previous administration turned its back on workers and workplace safety. Siding with its corporate friends, the administration overturned and blocked dozens of important workplace protections that weaken job safety programs. But today, we have a president that is committed to worker safety and the health of workers all across this nation. The Obama administration has moved forward to strengthen protections with tougher enforcement on serious violators, particularly those who are repeat violators, and have passed and proposed new safeguards, new workplace hazards. Business groups oppose these strong measures. The right-wing majority in the United States Congress is doing business's bidding and trying to block new protections and roll back existing programs. They have launched an all-out assault on all government regulation and safeguards. They are trying to slash the job safety budget and weaken enforcement. Right-wing extremists and business groups are falsely claiming that these regulations and protections kill jobs. The fact is that these regulations and protections keep jobs and employers from killing workers, and we know that is true. The real goal of these right-wing ideologues and business groups is to take away workers' rights and to weaken the role of government in protecting workers and the public. It's just like the attack on collective bargaining and workers' rights in Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and other states. These attacks threaten the economic security and the safety of all workers. Just as we are fighting back against the assaults on the right of workers to bargain collectively for better wages, benefits, and working conditions, we must fight back against the assault on workers' safety and health rights and protections. We must educate, mobilize, organize union members, and join with our allies in our communities to stop these efforts to turn back the clock. We cannot allow corporations driven by greed to go unchecked and put our workers in danger. On this Workers' Memorial Day, we remember and pay tribute to those who have lost their lives on the job, who have been injured or made sick. On this Workers' Memorial Day, we call for an end to the unnecessary deaths of our brothers and sisters and action on the job hazards that kill and injure. We call for stronger job safety laws and protection for all workers. On this day, we pledge to fight for good jobs that will provide economic security, opportunity for all citizens in our nation. And on this day, we commit to work together to fight the assault on workers' rights, to bargain for fairer workplaces, safer workplaces, and a better life, a better future for all Americans. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Cheryl Neff, who's here from OSHA to address us today.
My name is Cheryl Neff, and I'm a little bit different than OSHA. I'm with the Illinois Department of Labor.
Sorry.
That's okay, I'm not going to beat you up for it today. We actually enforce the microphone. You can't hear me? This is like my fourth speech of the day, so I apologize if I'm a little rusty. I'm with the Illinois Department of Labor, and we enforce the OSHA regulations in the public sector. So we're kind of like OSHA's half cousin once removed, maybe. But what we do is the public sector. We have the law enforcement, we have the police, we have all of you under our wing, and we are there to protect you while you're at work. How many of you have experienced a personal loss of someone who's died in the workplace? That's way too many hands. This time next year, I don't want to see any of those. I don't want to see any new ones. It touches all of our lives. I'm a girl from a small town in southern Indiana. My high school graduating class was 180. I've lost two of my dear friends from high school to workplace fatalities. For those of you that remember in South Carolina, the furniture fire, where we lost the firefighters due to the roof collapsing on them, one of them was one of my classmates. And I lost another one down in Florida who was working in a residential building and left the live box to their house, and he became electrocuted. Federal OSHA in the Florida office called me that day and said, why is your business card in his pocket? I had just seen him in the classroom. So it does touch all of our lives, and not in a good way. Our ultimate goal, 0 injuries, 0 fatalities. OSHA is trying to ensure it to try to gain this role in the private sector here in Illinois, and they have over 5 million employees they regulate. We have over 1 million public sector employees that we regulate. We do not want to fail at this goal. So what do? We've enhanced our enforcement efforts. We investigate all the fatalities in the public sector. It's the worst part of my job. I hate getting that phone call. We average over 18 deaths per year in the public sector. And we also have a consultation program that will go out and work with employers if they request help at no fear of punishment, no fear of enforcement. So today on Workers Memorial Day, we're here to mourn the people that we've lost, and we're here to do something to stop them from happening in the future. April 28th is very significant because it's the day OSHA opened their doors in 1971, and their mission was to protect workers. We joined this mission in 2009 when we became a state plan. So here in Illinois, we have the same rules and regulations for the public sector employees as the private sector. Not every state has those protective rights. In the year 2011, we investigated over 20 public sector fatalities. If you'll bear with me, I'd like to read their names to you. Lieutenant Patrick Cannon with the Chicago Fire Department, Robert Cusantino with the Park Ridge Park District, Candace Ricks with the City of Chicago, William Nelson with the Village of Western Springs, Daniel Charles Dare with the Avon Fire Protection District, William Billy King with the City of Chicago, William Gargamalja with Kane County, John Fergus with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago, Jeff Kissick with the City of Rochelle, Kevin Robinson with the City of Chicago, Derek Posey with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, Eric Bokenauer with the Village of Hanover Park, Jackie Harvey with the City of Bridgeport, Corey Shaw with the Des Moines Fire Department, Ronald Venema with the City of Fulton, Charles Lickerbaugh with the City of Decatur, Pat Flores with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, Edward Stringer and Corey Yankum with the Chicago Fire Department, and Ryan Nichols with the Illinois Department of Transportation. At the Illinois Department, we have stepped up and taken on the challenge of the state plan program, but we've done that to protect the public sector workers. We've also taken on the consultation program and enhanced our program as much as we can. Our state plan is 9 years in the works. It's an effort we've undertaken with love and caring to prevent these illegal illnesses. So on behalf of the Director of the Illinois Department of Labor, Joe Costigan, the Assistant Secretary of OSHA, Dr. David Michaels, the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Labor, Hilda Solis, we want to extend all our condolences, help you to mourn, take steps to correct that which is preventable, and at the end of the day, we all want you to go home safe and healthy.
Our final speaker is our candidate in the 48th Senate District here in Illinois, Andy Bedard.
Good afternoon. Everybody hear me okay? Very good. Thank you, Carl, for the invitation to be here today on Workers Memorial Day. As Carl mentioned, I'm a candidate for the state senate in the 40th district, but I'm also the county board chairman in a place that is no stranger to the labor movement over the years, and that's Macoupin County. Having grown up just a short distance from the resting place of Mother Jones, it would be a big mistake for me not to talk a little bit about the place that I grew up and I call home, which is southern Macoupin County. I probably don't need to tell too many people here today that Macoupin County has a long-standing history and continued commitment to the labor movement, not just in Illinois, but across our country and throughout the world. From the countless men and women who have spent their lives laboring in the more than 70 coal mines, that's right, 70 coal mines, established throughout our county since the late 1800s, to all of the members of our local unions and trade organizations today, our county recognizes and thanks workers for their contributions to our many communities. I am a firm believer, like most that have gathered here today, if not all people that are here right now, that a good wage and a safe workplace makes for stable families, better schools, safer neighborhoods, and lasting communities. As you all know, Mother Jones and her leadership as an organizer for the United Mine Workers Union of America led her to Macoupin County and throughout this country and the world, and she is now laid to rest just outside of Mount Olive in Union Miner Cemetery alongside those she called her boys from the Battle of Verdun who were killed in a mine riot in 1898. While she is often remembered as an activist in her fight against the hallmarks of low-paid, 12-hour workdays or longer, she also fought for better safety conditions in the workplace, not just for those who belong to a labor organization, but for all workers. Those conditions were evidenced at the time by horrifying mortality rates. That's right, horrifying mortality rates in any number of professions. Men and women day in and day out have gone to work for more than a century, putting their lives on the line, wanting nothing more than a good paying job and a safe place to work. A good paying job and a safe place to work. Those are two pretty simple things in my book. But these are two things, as Carl mentioned, that are too elusive to too many people today. The responsibility of providing a safe workplace and a safe environment to go to work each and every day is something that no right and just society should ever abandon. There's been a great deal of progress over the years in OSHA law that help protect our workers from serious harm. Those things have been big and small, and those actions should continue on even a small basis, just like this gathering here today. They should be strengthened, and they should be enforced as much as possible. And despite hard economic times, some companies, not all companies, but some companies continue to try to find ways to skirt the rules and to cut corners to increase their bottom line. Worker safety and satisfactory work conditions for men and women that go to work every day should not and cannot be compromised for the sake of profits. A good wage is a bottom line issue. A safe workplace is a bottom line issue. And we should all stand up and celebrate and defend these two things, as they are the most basic, fundamental measurement of our society. We all know that without the help of organized labor and leaders over the years, starting with Mother Jones, all the way through today, many individuals that have gathered here today should be credited with creating safer work environments for workers across this country. So today, let us remember those we have lost, and at the same time review our commitment for them and their families. In closing, Mother Jones is perhaps most famously remembered for her war cry, "Pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living." Today we are reminded of those words again, that we must never forget those who have given their lives in the workplace, nor can we for a single moment set aside the need to ensure that tomorrow is a better and safer working place for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you very much again for the invitation to be here.